Hey everybody, welcome back to the One Tile Challenge on Calmlands. This is Graybeard Gaming, and we are about to harvest our sorghum. And I did get this trailer here on the used market, holds 9,000 liters, and I was like, you know what, this is actually a good trailer to have because it will switch over into a flatbed bale trailer. So I thought maybe it would be the way to go for additional storage. But or hauling around of stuff. But the main thing is it's going to hold the sorghum for the time being. We have actually been experiencing a lot of hail damage recently, and which is unfortunate because it has taken its toll on multiple fields. So multiple crops are going to see a negative impact as a result. That was one of the things that I left on for this challenge. I wanted to, have disasters turned on. I mean, this is just hail damage. It's not the end of the world, but if you look, there was actually quite a significant amount just in our sorghum. But then when we get up closer to our beans, you're gonna really see quite the destruction that is there. Now, one of the things that we have to be mindful of is that's just something that naturally happens, and knockdown is part of farming. Every farmer has to deal with it. It's part of the inherent risks of farming. So, you know what? That's why we left it on. But if you look around, you can see, I mean, even up in my grass field up here, you can see there's a big chunk right there. Not in the other grass area, but, we do have significant storm damage. I do not know if my corn was spared. However, we'll find that out eventually, I'm sure. But when I start looking at my bean field, I mean, it's quite significant, the amount, as well as in the sorghum. I was really surprised at how much damage there really was. Now, as you can see, we're sitting okay on money, considering that we now have our harvester. The only thing I really need to buy, and I'd like to purchase it soon. Actually, I'd like to purchase it today, and that is a plow. That way we can plow our fields to get an even bigger bonus on our yields, which currently we are missing out a fair amount of money, or not money, but yield on our fields, and that amount will just increase if we actually get a plow. I hate plowing, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. What we'll wind up getting is the lizard. It's really, I mean, I've already got my fields in place, so it is what it is. We will go ahead and do this in the I think we'll do this in the offset cream color. I mean, I guess I could do it in the Case International red. I mean, that's definitely doable, but I'm one of those people that likes to kind of go off the beaten path, so to speak. So I will probably go with the Case, or the that cream color that you see on our tractor. I think that'll look nice being pulled behind this tractor. I do want to get this field harvested so that I can we can go ahead and get them harvested and sorry, my 4-year-old is over here whispering very loudly because he's trying to be quiet, and he thinks he's found the biggest treasure in the world because he found 2 unopened things of Smarties, which can't really blame him there. I love Smarties, and I was probably the one that was careless and left them laying around. They are one of those candies from my childhood that I love and I will always love. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to start loading up this trailer, and it's just comical listening to them when they're this age. But yeah, we're going to go ahead, we're going to get this trailer loaded up, and then probably the next thing we'll do is get our field. I think we'll probably get it ready once we've plowed it, and go ahead get the field planted with wheat, because that's what our intention was going to be all along for this field. And we'll get it rolled today, and that will that'll get us into the month of September, which we really don't have a whole lot planned for September except for cutting grass. So that's where our focus is going to be for the month of September. I don't want to continue to nonstop have all of these wagons. You know, I don't need all of these wagons. I seem to be collecting them, and eventually I would like to be able to move away from that, but I can sell them back, and we'll lose a couple $100 each, but the amount of money that we'll make for having not sold our crops directly off the field will more than make up the difference on that. So we will be planting this field into wheat. Our current corn field will be going into sorghum, and then our wheat fields will turn into corn. And I'm going to cycle that rotation every single year. It'll be counterclockwise. I just think that's the most logical continuation. Now I have to check to see if this is one of the trailers that the dolly, or the, I guess when I was growing up we just called it the tongue of the trailer, will lock into place, because it is a dolly style. So I'm interested to find out if that is the case with this trailer, because if it does, it'll make backing it up way easier. And ease of use is always something that I try to gear up for. With us having the plow, oh no, I forgot to put my header back down like a big dum-dum. With us having a plow now, this season we won't actually have to do any weeding, because everything will have been plowed and then seeded, so we shouldn't need to worry about weeds this year. That'll be a great little bonus to using a plow. We're not going to get rid of our sprayer. I know that would be something to consider, but the fact that we still have a lot of we do still have quite a bit of herbicide left. And we won't need it maybe this next season, but we will need it for the following one. Now, we will spray for the following season, and that's perfectly fine. It's just one of those things we'll have to do eventually. I know it looks like we're struggling on money, but like I said, we've got multiple wagons full of grain that we will eventually sell or put to some other use. I have been looking at a few options as far as if I want to put in a mill, or productions for different factories, things like that that I have been looking at. I'm very intrigued by this sort of development on the farm, and one of those things that I will be probably utilizing is the to make pig feed. There is a actual item that we can use to make pig feed, and I think that'll be interesting to utilize that. Now, I don't want to buy any more trailers though, so one thing I'm going to have to start looking into is selling off of my wheat, my sorghum. I don't think I'll be selling off my sorghum anytime soon. I'm sorry, not my wheat, but my oats. So my oats in the months of October and November, it really starts to skyrocket. Sorghum, however, that doesn't really climb significantly. So months of December and January, those are, I can probably start thinking about selling that in November. But when I do my beans, I don't want to have to worry about sitting there with and say I don't want to say that I need to get rid of my oats just so that, or my sorghum, just so that I can get my beans off the field, and I don't want to have to worry about a silo right now. This is kind of one of those things where I am long-term goal is going to have some short-term inconveniences, and it's just something we'll have to deal with, but it is what it is in that respect. Now, we've been doing really well as far as yields go on some of these. I think we've got just over 11,000 liters of oats, and that's going to be close to $10,000 when it's probably because we aren't going to wait until it hits its peak in December, so we'll probably sell it November. So we're gonna have to juggle a few things around, I think. And I do apologize for the background noise. Like I said, I've got a 4-year-old and he doesn't quite understand the whole be quiet because Dad's making a video. So you'll have to forgive me there. Can't really change that. I'm quite pleased though with my overall yield so far on this harvest. I wanted to see, does this have a I was looking to see if it had the if it had the locking tongue, and it does not. So alas, we will struggle to back this one up into things. So maybe I'll try and figure out a way to finagle it into one of the barns. In the next year, beyond getting a new plow, in the next year, I would also like it to get another tractor. It doesn't have to be a huge tractor, but a second tractor would be nice. Preferably one that can do most of the farm functions that we currently have at our disposal. So obviously, I don't think it'll be a big deal for fertilizing and spreading lime or running the sprayer, but I would like it to also be able to run the baler, which has a horsepower requirement of 70 horse, as well as maybe even having the ability to haul trailers, things of that nature. So I am going to need to look for a tractor that has sufficient amount of weight so that it can pull trailers, as well as enough get up and go that it can do all the other functions. The only function I'd be concerned with a smaller tractor would be whether or not it could actually pull the plow. So that'll be our Case International Farmall, probably continuing on with doing all that, which is fine. It's just one of those things that long term we'll have to consider. If we have a great deal come up, we're going to pick it up as long as we can afford it. But as things currently are, I don't think we're going to really have that to be something for us to worry about. All right, so let's go ahead and offload. And we will get this unloaded, and we'll go ahead and get ourselves a we'll get this put away in the barn, because it's going to be a few months before we can really worry about doing our soybeans, and that's fine. I'm just looking at what I could possibly maneuver around. Looks like I'm gonna remove the roller from my barn. Alright, so we will go ahead and pull this trailer up. I would definitely like to get a better situation when it comes to the when it comes to the use of all these trailers. Finding places to put them is what I'm really struggling with. I really want to have a way to, hide them a little bit better. Now, the real trick is going to be pulling this in and then seeing if we can't back it up, because I really struggle with these trailers. I mean, I guess easy does it. You guys can rate my skills in the comments. I would say I did a fairly good job. I mean, it's not perfectly straight, but it's straight enough that I'm not gonna be too fussy about that. All right, now let's go get ourselves a plow. All right, so only thing we got to do with that is change color and pay for it. And we have $10 to our name. Look at that. I guess I could speed up time just so we can feel better about ourselves. There we go. Now we got $122. Look at that. Now we're rolling in it. I do have a few items that I could probably sell. I would just have to go and load them up and get it taken care of, but for the time being, I just haven't wanted to deal with that mess. Alright, but here goes the nice part. We can just plow this under. If you guys do get a chance to check out a couple of these other farms that are doing this playthrough, go ahead and check out Northern Farm Sim. Really enjoyed his. Also, I believe it's Rusty Money Farm. Or Rusty Money Gaming, something like that. If I remember, I will go ahead and link them in the description. But I've been enjoying both of their playthroughs on this variation. You know, one's doing a tree farm, the other one is, which their tree farm idea is just fantastic. It's kind of made me think about how I could do some things differently on mine. Maybe not to the extent that theirs is, but I am always looking for a way to make my farm a little bit more profitable, I guess would be one way of saying it. And they have utilized, you know, lodgepole pine, and they've made like 6 rows of trees, and it's phenomenally done. I really do think that Northern Farm Sim has really kind of embraced this challenge in a way that I never thought possible. So kudos to them. And they're playing the long game because, you know, they got 3 years to wait for those trees to mature. So yeah, they are definitely playing the long game there. If you guys hold on for 1 second, I think that my toilet's running and no one's in there. Crazy how real life gets in the way of farming simulator. All right, and in fact it was. Real life is sometimes problematic. Well, what just popped up in the market? Nothing I can afford. That's unfortunate. Yeah. We'll go ahead and get this finished plowed. I think we'll see a really big increase in our yield for next year on our wheat, which that's huge for us. It'll be one of those things that, you know, never gets old getting more when all you're doing is plowing. So you're getting more bang for your buck, and all I'm doing is plowing the field. Something I was going to have to work it up one way or another. Now, this is kind of a question for those out there that are doing this playthrough, but or this actual challenge. Have you found that having productions such as the gardens or factories beneficial, or has the money, you know, or the productions beneficial, or has that money tied up into those been more detrimental to your growth on this playthrough? I found that for the most part, I mean, because I haven't started paying back my loan yet, and we are basically 1 year in, that I have offset my loans, but by no means am I anywhere near ready to pay for them. Pay for any of the stuff that I have been accumulating here, and I think it'll slow down a bit. Mostly because, I mean, I think it'll slow down because we can stop buying equipment. Like, we've got enough equipment that you know, we're able to function as a working farm. I mean, yeah, there's stuff that we could probably still use, but there's nothing that we are, you know, sitting there saying, oh gosh, we can't do this or that because we don't have this or that. You know, I mean, I think I've gotten to that point where I can fully farm without having to worry about certain things. There is equipment that I would like. I would love to have some form of an improved method for I'd like to improve upon certain aspects, especially when it comes to, grass. Oh my goodness, grass, it's driving me up the wall. It's so much effort is being put into trying to rake it up that I feel like it's not worth it. The amount of time that I spend, because you can see I've got 26.6 hours, and we're what, 6 episodes in. I've already got 26.6 hours on this tractor. It's not that I don't think we can't continue using the current rake system. It's just so slow. It's only doing like a 2 meter width, if that. I mean, that's being generous on that width. Come on. All right. Just want to set these guys down. Right here ought to be fine. All right, let's get to seeding. Oh, I can't plant till next month. Oh, all right. Well, I can handle dealing with that. And guess what we'll do is unhook that there, run up here, and grab our fertilizer spreader. We'll get this thing spread, and I guess we'll sleep. And then, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do a little sleepy. What have I gone and done? There. Sometimes you just get hung up. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Alright, let's see if we can't get this all spread and ready to seed. I think we can get it. right, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get this done, and I think we're just gonna call this an episode, mostly because I am starting to really drag a bit, and that's telling me I probably need to get to bed. So I want to say thank you guys for watching. This is Graybeard Gaming, wishing you the very best of days. We will see you guys next time on Calm Lands and the One Tile Challenge. Have a good night, guys. Be safe.